Remember that trust is earned. Okay. It's not something that you just, or you can assume that they'll give you because you love them and because you feed them. It's something that is earned. It's something that you prove, that you show every day. Trust means you have to be predictable and calm. And here's the clincher, especially in today's day and age. You need to be calm and predictable in your actions and your emotions. Oh, I know. That's the hardest part. How do we become calm in our emotions? Well, that's the question. We're going to be answering that and so much more in today's episode. 4 ways that you can show up as the leader your dog needs you to be. Let's get into it. Ready to have a calm and peaceful life with your dog without the stress of those fear-based behaviors? Hi, I'm Tracy, and I've been there, overwhelmed by all the conflicting dog training advice and unsure of what to do next. But now I help dog lovers like you simplify your life with your dog by building confidence naturally, fostering trust, and addressing those fear-based challenges. So, if you're ready, stop chopping those chicken wieners and let's get to it. Well, hello, my dog-loving friend. It's Tracy. Welcome to Beyond Obedience, the podcast. Really glad that you are here for this one today. I think this one it's a very common question I get because I talk a lot about this idea about being somebody worth following, being a leader to a dog, be the person that your dog needs you to be. These are all things that I say, and I have people be like, okay, that's fine, but how do we do that? How do we do that, Tracy? So I thought today would be a great way to kind of break it down. 4 different ways to show up as the leader that your dog needs. And it really is all about being somebody worth following to a dog. Okay, that part's important. To a dog. Okay, your dog isn't going to just follow just anyone. But I know here in my home, if I get up and move, all the dogs will move with me. If I'm in the bedroom, all the dogs are in the bedroom. If I go to another room, I could never play hide and seek in my house. Let me just tell you that. I would never be able to win the game of hide and seek in my house because my dogs just naturally want to follow me. And I will say it is not because I feed them treats, because I very rarely feed them treats. I am not someone that walks around with treats in my pocket. I can't even tell you where my treat pouch is. I do own one. I will say that. I do own one. I just don't know where it is. So it's not because of food. It's not because of affection. It's just because I am somebody worth following. I'm someone who has dedicated my life and my way of life with my dogs to understanding them first. And so I wanted to break in the 4 different ways that you can show up as a leader to your dog. The first way that you can do that would be, I like to call this, know thy dog. Know thy dog. There's a great quote by Stephen Covey that says, seek first to understand, then to be understood. And I love that quote, especially for dogs, because I think we've got it backwards with our dogs. We spend so much time trying to get the dogs to understand us, understand this command, understand this. We got to proof this command, understand that you have to do this command no matter what I say. And under all these circumstances, there's so much emphasis on that. And, just not enough emphasis on understanding them, but not just understanding dog, which I do love. I've been doing that for years. I mean, I have been reading the dog stuff and learning all I could about dogs ever since I was a teenager. I read dog behavior books on the bus when I was in high school. That's the kind of dog geek I was. Understanding dog in general is a great base, but you need to know your dog. I call this what's your dog's dating profile? What's your dog's dating profile? Because your dog's an individual, and yes, breed matters, and there's breed traits, and there's things that we can glean from your dog's genetic resume and all the things we know about what's been put into those breeds. That's all very important, but every dog is an individual. I've mentioned this before, but I'm sure some of you will know or have experience with what I call the anti-breed. You ever had that? I had the anti-beagle, right? I had this beagle Soda, and he never left. He never wandered off. He was always around. You never lost Soda. Soda was always around. And I'm like, you're like the anti-beagle. We had the anti-Noof, right? We had this crazy Noof. She was like, her name was Berlin. God love her. Oh, I miss her so much. But she was just like, well, all the other Noofs were like this laid back dog that were like drooly, slobbery, whatever Noofs. She was insane. Like, she had so much energy. She was just banana beans crazy. So she was the anti-Noof. So while it's important to understand your breed and breed traits, and I do believe in that, because it does give us some hints and whatnot on how we can, give them the best possible life. Your dog is an individual. So I want you to go beyond the basics here. Like stuff like, what's their favorite sniff spot? Who's their bestest buddy? Like, who's their best friend? And then why? Why are they best friends? Like, what is it about that other dog that makes them so compatible? Maybe it's because of their play style. What's their play style? Does your dog like to play rough and rowdy? Are they gentle? Are they independent explorer? Like, what's their play style? Like, what kind of touch does your dog like? Do they like a belly rub? Do they like an ear scratch? I will tell you, Levi, if I take like the palm of my hand and just do circular rubs just underneath his ear, he will tilt his head and make the most inappropriate groaning noise. Like I'm like, you're liking that's too much. I'm uncomfortable, that kind of thing. But like, what's your dog's favorite touch? Where's their safe space? Do they have a place where they love to hang out? Do they like to lie on the heating vent, or do they like to lie on the snowbank because you have Noofs like me? What lights them up? What's their absolute favorite thing? What makes them fulfilled? Those are the kind of things that I want you to really think about your dog. Your dog is a unique sentient being. Like, what lights them up? You can even go the other side too. What things don't they like? What things are challenging for you? They don't like their feet being touched. Like, get to know your dog at a really visceral level and really start to like think about it. I know you know them. Like, don't get me wrong. I know you know your dog. You know them better than anyone else. But I'm just saying, like, maybe write it down and really kind of, get a visual of what your dog's dating profile was. If you're going to put them on Tinder, what would it look like? My dog likes long walks on the beach. All right. Step number 2, or way number 2, that you can show up as a leader is to meet their needs and not yours. So once you know your dog, the next step is to show up and meet their actual needs. Once you know that their fulfillment is this, can we show up that way? Your dog's fulfillment factor is not the same as any other dog's. Sure, the breeds will have some similarities, but there's going to be, nuances to it, right? Some dogs might need a longer decompression walk. Some dogs might need a little bit more structure, right? They might need that as part of their mental work. Right? Some dogs need a job, right? Even if it's just carrying a toy around. The other day, I had a good laugh. The other day, Nigel, when we were out playing in the snow, and Nigel came over to me and I said, "Hey, buddy," and he grabbed my hand. Like, I had a mitten on, but he grabbed my hand, and he's a Noof, so he's got a very, very soft mouth, and he started dragging me towards the house. And I always play along with this, so I'm like, okay, he's rescuing me, right? Like we're in the water or something, because Noofs are water rescue dogs. So I'll just go, like, I'll go along with him, like, where are we going, buddy? And he's holding my hand. And I thought we were going to go up the steps. And lo and behold, he dragged me. He was like, nope. And he dragged me the other direction. I'm like, okay, where are we going? He walked me around to the ramps. Like, we have these ramps on our deck that we put up for when our dogs got older. We had them up. My husband put them up for Caesar when Caesar was really old. and just to help him, like, because he couldn't do steps anymore. So Nigel dragged me to the ramps. Like, you know what? You probably need to come up this way. It was the sweetest thing. Anyway, I digress. The point is, some dogs need a job, right? And you got to let them do their job. And so leadership does mean recognizing what it is that fills their cup and making it part of their routine. So I want you to ask yourself, this is part of the actionable step here. I need you to ask yourself, anytime you're doing something with your dog, is this actually for my dog or is it for me? And this is actually a very important question, because this has come up for me when coaching a lot of people, especially if you're like, my dog is my whole life. Maybe you're an empty nester, or maybe you just have a lot more time on your hands. You're like, I really want to get into all the dog things. I think it's fantastic. Let me start off by saying that. I think it's fantastic. If you're like doing rallyo or dock diving or barn hunt, I did barn hunt with the Jack Russell. It's so much fun. And I think that that's amazing. But there are some people, I'm not saying it's you, just saying gut check here. There are some people that maybe take this a little bit too far. And I have done, and I always get pushback when I say it, but I've actually asked some people to maybe take a break from some of the extracurriculars and just try hanging out and see what your dog actually likes. Because honestly, like children, sometimes we can overschedule our dogs. Sometimes we can sign them up for too many things and it's too much for them. Dogs, just like everybody else, sometimes needs decompression. So if you're struggling, or if you're finding your dog's behaviors are getting a little bit more amped up, or your dog seems a little bit more anxious, maybe it's time to take a step back from some of the things and ask yourself, is this for my dog? Or am I doing it for me because I like it, because I like seeing my dog do it, because I like the friendships I've made at the agility hall, or whatever it is? We just need to do a double check just to make sure that your dog is actually digging it. And I want to answer this question, because I do get this all the time. What's the difference between fulfillment and exercise, right? And the difference is, honestly, fulfillment means contentment. If you've ever seen a dog that is fulfilled, they look content, right? Ask a scent hound to do scent work. After they're done, they have this sense of contentment. They're tired because they've just like, oh, I'm done, right? The difference with exercise for the sake of exercise is a lot of times those dogs come in more energized and amped up. And I'll hear this a lot. People would say, I don't understand. Like, I took the dog for a walk and then I played ball with the dog and we did all this stuff. And now the dog is still bouncing off the walls. Then I'd be willing to look into fulfillment then. Maybe the exercise that you're doing isn't fulfilling. It's just exercise for the sake of exercise. All right. Number 3, communicate in a way that they understand, right? I'm going to say it again. Dogs are not verbal communicators, right? If a dog uses verbal as a secondary reinforcer to something they've already said, let me say that again. Dogs use verbal communication as a secondary reinforcer to something they've already said, meaning they feel like they've already communicated something to you. You didn't get it. So now they're upping the ante by using voice, whether it's whining, barking, whatever, right? That's how they use verbal. It's not their first line of defense when they're trying to communicate, right? So they don't follow you because of the words you're saying. They're following you because of your energy, body language, and clarity. Clear, confident movement matters more than commands, right? Your dog is always watching you and how you respond to situations, even if it's not about them. They're watching you all the time. And you're communicating all the time, right? So if you're hesitant, they're going to be hesitant. If when you're calm, they're going to be calm. They are always watching you. Okay. So you want to make sure that the words that you're saying, and I will say this for all of my friends out there that have multiple dogs, trust me when I say your dogs are watching you when you're talking to other dogs, or well, even if you don't have multiple dogs, I guess they're also watching the way you respond to other dogs. They're watching the way you respond to all of the members in the household. They see all. How you show up, how you are, how you be, how you walk, how you communicate is how you communicate with dogs. The talking is just jibber jabber, jibber jabber on top of that, which dogs very quickly learn to tune out. So step up. That's what I'm saying. All right. Number 4, you want to be worthy of their trust. Okay. Remember that trust is earned. Okay. It's not something that you just, or you can assume that they'll give you because you love them and because you feed them. It's something that is earned. It's something that you prove, that you show every day. Trust means you have to be predictable and calm. And here's the clincher, especially in today's day and age. You need to be calm and predictable in your actions and your emotions. Ugh, I know. That's the hardest part. How do we become calm in our emotions? Well, honestly, you have to notice when your emotions are out of check. You have to give yourself a break, give yourself grace, and then move on, right? Not saying you have to be unemotional. Is that a word? Yes, now. Right? But you need to be calm and predictable in both action and emotion. Okay. And I know that's hard. It means that you have to advocate for them. You have to be a part of the conversations. And again, I want you to don't just talk. I need you to show them. Instead of saying it's okay, show the dog that it's okay by going over to see the thing, being a part of their experience and demonstrating calm curiosity. If your dog hesitates, don't just encourage them with your words, but be a presence that they can trust. They're going to take cues from you. Okay? Leadership isn't about authority. It's all about trust. And when your dog trusts you, everything else changes. All right, so let's put this all together. Let's recap the whole thing. The 4 things, the 4 ways that we can show up as the leader our dog needs us to be. Number 1, knowing your dog inside and out, right? Get that doggy dating profile done. Meeting their unique needs, fulfillment over exercise for the sake of exercise, okay? Communicating in a way they understand. That's body language, my friends. It's your energy. It's your intent. It's just showing up. And then finally, earning their trust by being somebody worth following. Don't talk, just show. If you have to talk, if you have to talk, go ahead and talk, but just make sure you're showing the right things. More often than not, people are talking and they're not showing the same thing. They're talking behind the dog. The dog's ahead of them on the walk and the dog is freaking out and they're going, it's okay from behind them. You're not there. You're not even a part of it. The talking is just now talking for the sake of talking. Does that make sense? 4 ways that you can show up to be the leader that you need to be. Hey, listen, if you want more help with this, because here's what I know to be true. There's no one size fits all here. There is no one size fits all. Your dog is unique and you are unique. And I'm reminded of that every single time. So if you want more personalized help with this, you can consider booking a one-on-one session with me to get hands-on guidance for your dog's unique needs. Go to beyondobedience.ca/session to get that. Or if you want to join the most incredible community of dog lovers ever on the face of the planet, the people I love more than anything, join us over in the Fearful Dog Fearless Framework. Okay. That's a program. You get to go all the way through the program at your own pace, but you get this incredible community, monthly Q&As with me, little bonuses all the time in that group because I just love everybody over there so much. You can join that community by going to beyondobedience.ca/fearless. That's beyondobedience.ca/fearless to get into that program. And as always, you can join us for free over in the Living Beyond Obedience Facebook community to connect with other dog lovers and ask questions over there. As always, Get out there today, my friend, and be the person that your dog thinks you are, because your dog thinks that you are amazing, and so do I. If you have 5 seconds, can you go on over to Apple Podcasts and give me a 5-star rating? Really helps to push the podcast to more and more people. Thank you so much for being a part of my life and sharing your journey with me, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Oh, and one more thing. This podcast is meant for entertainment and education purposes only and is not meant to replace hands-on professional training. If you're really struggling with your dog, please reach out to a professional in your area. All right, I think that's it. Bye for now.